Is it worth maybe doing like a little bit of an explanation of this for like somebody who's never seen this game before? I think I'll do it just so I stay in practice. Okay, let me put everything back how it was. Let me just explain all the basics of the game. Okay, so here I am, kind of artificially at the start of the level again. I just put everything back to how it was. So you're this player that the camera's looking down upon. Her name is M. Your keys are up, down, left, right, or actually more truthfully, north, south, west, east. You can just move the arrow keys in the direction you want to go. And you always move one square at a time. Every time. There is no halfway movement into a square or anything like that. You press down or south, she's there. Now there is some animation that shows her movement, but logically, as far as the game world is concerned, as soon as you press that key, you are all the way in the square, and the animation is just an after effect, a nice visual cue of your movement. You've got another capability called flinging. You hold down the shift key, those rays go out, they show where you can go by flinging, and the little circles on the end tell you that's where you're going to stop when you fling. Okay, so I flung west, and pretty immediately she hit the wall and she dropped down. Now all that stuff happened in what's called a step, or you could call it a turn, but a turn implies that there's this thing where you do a bunch of actions and then you press a button and it goes on to slowly to the next stage of the game, the next turn. So a step always is instant. As soon as you have given the order to do something, it's done. Fling, oh, step. Okay, so when you're holding down the shift key, the step hasn't happened yet, but the moment you make that decision of which direction you'll fling, the step happened, and the game world is updated in response. So it's kind of an important concept. So you go fling off to the side, and you might think visually a number of things happen. She'll fling off to the right, off to the east, and then she'll drop down. But logically, as far as the game world is concerned, both of those things happen simultaneously in a single step. Okay, pushables. I have a long love-hate relationship with pushable blocks. I felt like they were overused a long time ago. So I made my own kind of pushable blocks. These ones, they push as far as they can in the direction that you push them. Okay. And I also didn't like how when you have these pushable block puzzles, they get stuck against walls. You have to reset the puzzle. The goal of this game is that you never manually restart the level. I mean, you can die and you can go back to the starting point, but it's like a teleport if you die. So similarly, I don't want a player to ever hit a restart button because the block's got in a bad state. So I made it so if you just push the block against a wall, it goes to the nearest letter pad, I call them, but they're like a respawn point for blocks. So I can put them all together like that. Also, you can push multiple blocks all together. Okay. Can't push blocks upstairs for arbitrary reasons. Not really arbitrary, game design reasons. Okay, so these wooden doors, or gates as I call them, that surround the player on all sides, north, south, west, east, they have the word out spelled on them. And the rule is that as long as there are 3 blocks anywhere in the level that spell the word out, those doors will remain closed. As soon as there are no blocks anywhere in the level that spell that the same sequence of letters that are on the doors, the gates open. So I'll show that. Come down here, knock the U out. Suddenly the gates are open. Hold down the shift key. Now you'll notice that like the fling ray to the north, it keeps going north. So I can now fling over this expanse into the open north gate. So I'm in a new place here. I can always come back if I want. The thing about flinging is a lot of times it's hard to tell how far you've flung because of that kind of instant step action. But sometimes you can figure that out by just sort of navigating a little bit further in the world. Okay, so I'm relatively fearless with death in this game. I can usually get back to wherever I was pretty quickly, so I'm just going to do some quick flinging around just so I can navigate. So if you're playing the game, like, I'm slowing it way down by explaining everything, but you get that flinging going and you're just like, you're just going all over the place. The flinging will go upstairs too. So if I go, you see the ray seeking up as well as west. If I fling in that direction, I go all the way to the top of the stairs. Now, in this case, there's an obstacle at the end, this kind of tower thing that's in the southwest that caught me. But if there wasn't, I would have kept going in that same line until something caught me. So here's a case where I'll overshoot the end of the steps and keep going. You can see the fling ray is sort of suggesting that's going to happen, because off to the right of the screen, or the east of the world, the blocks just kind of go up over the steps. So I'll go ahead and fling east, up and east. So I took a wild leap and hit a wall on the other side and came back down. Again, all in one step. So logically speaking, that was one action inside of the game world. So navigate a little bit further along. We can kind of get a good vantage point of the level here. People ask me, can you move the camera around? It's a goal of mine to make it so you don't ever need to move the camera. Oh, by the way, I should size this a little bit better, because inside of my streaming environment I've got a little cutoff, so that's probably better. So here you can see the whole screen. So instead of having camera controls, I want you to just move your player around to see the stuff that you want to see. Just move. It's not that hard to move. It's like really super easy to move places. So the idea is, if I want to see something off in the northeast, I just go there real quick. It's not that hard, right? So if you can just have like a really unified control there and simplify it, in my opinion, that's better. It's better than like always be walking someplace with one set of controls and then like with your other hand moving around the camera to try to see something that might help what you're doing. I just want it to be one unified set of controls for both navigation and seeing things. So every level has got a bonus to it. So you can go to this exit level thing and leave the level if you want. But you'll see this little bonus box up in the northwest corner. That's the extra challenge in the level that you can try to get to if you want. And I already went through like an explanation of the challenge, so I won't belabor it this time. Basically, on this level, you want to close the two gates, the TO letter gates, by putting blocks together such that they close them. And that's not hard to do. Once I have those in place, it'll give me a route to get to that bonus. So the first problem here is that the T and the O are not in the right order. So I'm going to manipulate things so I can get them in the right order. I've played with these blocks quite a bit, and the thing I love about them is that without even really trying to make good puzzles, you can make good puzzles. You just throw some blocks down, pick a word to try to spell out, and it's like the puzzles write themselves. It's fun to manipulate the blocks. It really, to me, feels like a fresh way to look at blocks again, pushable blocks. So I've enjoyed making puzzles with them. I've enjoyed like immediately playing the same puzzles that I just barely made. And like I hadn't even thought out like, How is this going to be a good puzzle? How is this going to be a challenge? I just drop some blocks down, pick some word, and then suddenly, and it's still fun. It's like it's just made a puzzle. But then I can go further. I can make refinements and improve the puzzle usually. But that swiftness of puzzle creation is a good indicator that the game element is got potential. So I just grabbed the bonus, and that's how you go the extra mile in the Godkiller. You go get the bonuses. Otherwise, the levels are going to be pretty easy to go through. That also is going to let somebody who doesn't like to break their brain solving puzzles still enjoy the game and kind of focus more on the adventure and story aspects of the game. Whereas somebody that really loves solving puzzles, there's always going to be these bonuses in each level, and I'll try to make them eventually get up to the difficulty as I've had on a game called Drod, which is just a fucking brain buster is what it is. So that's the demo. Now let's get on to the